Hi kids, my name is Phil. Welcome to day 3 of the big surprise. Yesterday, we found it surprising that God sent a baby to save the world. Jesus is the king that God promised would come, but he wasn't born in a fancy palace. Even when he grew up, he didn't live anywhere special or have servants wave fans in his face when he's feeling hot. In fact, he would be a servant to others. He washed all the feet of his friends after a long day of walking in the dirt. Could you imagine if a famous person came over to your house and washed the dishes? What a surprise that would be. We've loved looking more at photos of your crafts that you sent in, and we want to share that with you. Let's take a look at the ones from yesterday where we made the place where Jesus was born. Jesus is always ready to serve people. Do you think you can be like Jesus, ready to serve others? That is the best way that we can serve Jesus until he comes back, which could be any day now. Are you ready to sing our theme song? Let's go.
Now if we hear there's a storm that's near, we'll want to grab a coat to wear. An umbrella too would be something good, so that we can be prepared. Well, Jesus said we should plan ahead, because he's coming back one day. And those who've heard and believed his words will be prepared to celebrate. Be ready, be ready. The King is gonna come again. Be ready, be ready. His reign is gonna have no end. Now some believe they don't really need to think about the judgment day, but they will find they've been so unwise, and it will come a day too late. Be ready, be ready. The King is gonna come again. Be ready, be ready. His reign is gonna have no end. Dark clouds tell us soon it's gonna rain, but no one knows when Jesus is coming back again. So here's the truth in this simple tune: we should always watch and pray, and we'll be glad when the Lord comes back, if we're trusting him today. Be ready, be ready. The King is gonna come again. Be ready, be ready. His reign is gonna have no end. Be ready, be ready. He is coming back again. Be ready, be ready. His reign is gonna have no end. His reign is gonna have no end. No end, no end. His reign is gonna have no end. His reign is gonna have no end, no end. His reign is gonna have no end.
Hi, New Life holiday clubbers. Welcome to day 3 with the stories, the songs, and the craft activities. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. Well, yesterday you learned about how God sent his son as a little baby, and he was born in a stable, not a palace. He was God's son, but surprise, he was born in a stable with all the animals. And guess what? Even as he grew up and he began to preach and teach to his people, you would think that Jesus would rule over everybody. But surprise, he came to serve us. And today's story is just about that. It's about how Jesus serves. And this is taken from John chapter 13. And the title of this story is called, Are You Being Served? Now, in John chapter 13, Jesus does something that shocks his disciples. To understand why it's so shocking, let's remember what's happened so far in the book of John. When Jesus spoke, water was turned into really good wine. When Jesus turned up, sick people were made well. Lame people began to walk, and blind people could see. Middle of the night, in the middle of a storm, Jesus came to his disciples walking on the water. Jesus stepped into the boat, and the winds and the waves stopped still. With just a few small fish and some bread rolls, a hungry crowd went home full, and there were leftovers too. Jesus called a dead man to come out of a tomb. Jesus showed his power and authority over everything and everyone. And the disciples saw it all. In John chapter 13, Jesus gathered his disciples together for a meal. This would be Jesus' last meal with them before he died. In the middle of the meal, he did something very strange. Jesus picked up a towel and began to wash his disciples' feet. Jesus washed the dust from the roads of the feet of his disciples. That was a job of a servant. And Jesus was not a servant. One of the disciples, Peter, stood up. Peter shook his head and he said, No, Jesus, you'll never wash my feet. But Jesus just looked at him and said, Peter, if I don't wash you, you can't be one of my people. So Peter then asked Jesus to not just wash his feet, but his head and his hands as well. That night, King Jesus washed all of his disciples' feet. Children, Jesus has all the authority and all the power over everything and everyone. He is the king over all. But Jesus didn't just come to rule, he came to serve. Jesus didn't wash his disciples' feet clean, he came to wash each one of us clean. Jesus washes away our sin and he makes us clean before God. He made us clean when he died on the cross. Jesus is the greatest servant of all. He served us by dying in our place and washing us clean. He is the greatest servant of all.
Hi kids, today we're going to be making a craft about the story we just heard of how Jesus washed his disciples' feet. And his disciples' feet weren't clean because they never wore closed-in shoes, so they would have been really dirty and yucky from everywhere that they walked. But you know what? Jesus loved them and he wanted to serve them by washing their feet. So this is what he did. For I have given you an example that you should do as I have done to you. I wonder how you can serve other people. You might not have to wash their feet, but I wonder how you could serve someone that you love. So for today's craft, we've got these feet here, and if you're younger, you're going to have these feet cut out already. But if you're an older kid, you're going to have a piece of paper like this in your craft bag that you'll have to cut out. But before we get to that, you're going to need some things from around your house. So you might need to pause the video here and go looking for a pair of scissors if you have to cut things out. We've also got some colored pencils if you want to get creative and color them in. And we've got our glue sticks to be able to stick on all our tissue paper. So you can pause the video here and go get those things, and I'll see you in just a second. Now, once we've got everything from around the house, in your packs you're also going to find a bowl, your feet, and some blue tissue paper, and some blue cellophane, that nice crinkly stuff for the water. What you're going to do first is you're going to get your feet once you've cut it out, and you're going to fold the bottom of it. This is called the sole of your foot, or the heel. And you're going to fold that up nice and tight so that there'll be a little bit of sticky sided tape here that you'll have to peel off. So once you peel that piece off there, then you can put your feet on there. So you got one foot on this side, and then we'll fold up the other one, put one foot on the other side. Look at that. We've already got our feet in the bowl. Our next step, we're going to have to get our glue sticks. And might put a little bit on the heel of the foot here to start off with. So put lots and lots of glue here. Press down really hard to make sure that your feet stay on there. And then we might start with some tissue paper. Sprinkle a little bit on there. And then I might use some cellophane. Press down a few more pieces. Once we've got a few of those on there, we might even have to do another layer of glue, I think. So we might just run over the glue stick on those pieces. And then we're going to put some more pieces of tissue paper on there. So sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Stick it all down. And now we can work our way to the other side of the bowl. So see, I've got all this side done now. I have to start in the empty spots. So I use lots of glue stick up the side here. See how it's getting nice and into those edges? All right, let's see if we can get some more in there, shall we? Put maybe a blue one here. Stick that one. Maybe sprinkle a little bit more on the edge. Oh no, it's getting stuck to my fingers. You might need an adult to help you as well. They might be able to help you if the things stick too close together. There we go. Maybe put a little bit more in the bowl there. And a few more of these sprinkly bits. Maybe one more just on the edge here. How about that? I think we've got a bowl full of water now. And there's our finished product.
Do you remember how on Monday we looked at how Adam and Eve made a very bad choice? They made a choice to do what God had told them not to do. They ate from the tree that God said, don't eat from that one. And, well, that meant that they couldn't eat from the other tree, the tree of life, which would help them live forever. And they were kicked out of God's very special place, the garden. Their bad choice meant that they could not be friends with God. The bad choice that Adam and Eve made, that has a name. I wonder if you know what the name of that bad choice is. starts with an S and it's got 3 letters. Yes, the name is sin. The Bible calls this bad choice sin. And the Bible says that sin is what we do when we do what we want to do instead of what God wants us to do. I wonder if you know what this shape is. Yes, it's a love heart. When I look at this love heart, I think of love. I think of all of the things that are most important to me, all of the things that are most important to us. Well, the Bible tells us that Adam and Eve made a very bad choice, and that choice was called sin, where they chose to do what they wanted to do instead of what God wanted them to do. And the Bible tells us that because of this choice made by Adam and Eve so very long ago, when everybody is born, when all of us were born, we were born with hearts that were dirty with sin. We all have hearts that are really dirty with sin. And this means that we can't be friends with God. If our hearts are full of sin, we can't be friends with God. But in today's story, do you remember the story that Sheila told? What did the disciples do? What did Jesus do, to the disciples' dirty feet? What did he do? Do you remember? Yes, he washed their dirty feet. He washed all of the dirt and mud right off their feet. Well, do you know that Jesus came not just to wash the disciples' dirty feet, but there's something else very important that Jesus washes. Ready? He can wash the dirty sin right out of our hearts. How surprising is that? Jesus can wash our hearts and get rid of the sin that is making them dirty and that's stopping us being friends with God. I think that's super amazing that he can wash our hearts totally clean if we trust in him. Tomorrow, we're going to learn how Jesus does that, how he washes the sin right out of our hearts, and how he can make us friends with God, and how he helps us live forever. How amazing is that? So surprising, this Jesus, isn't he? Well, now we're going to sing a song. The song is called God is a Holy God. And it says, we can't be friends because of our sin, but Jesus died to wash us clean if we put our trust in him. So have fun singing the song, and we look forward to having you join us tomorrow for another day of Surprise School Holiday Club.
Hi everyone, my name's Liv and we're going to sing a song together about our holy God who welcomes us in as friends when we trust in Jesus. This is a call and response song, but I don't have anyone here to help me, so when I sing a line, you're going to sing it back to me really loudly. Are you ready? God is a holy God, God is a holy... Where did that come from? Oh, hi Alana.
Hi, Liv.
Great to have you here.
I thought I'd just pop in and help with the call and response.
Awesome, thanks. Well, everyone, follow Alana. God is